Our cleanup hitter today is Lauren in Texas. So, Lauren, you are up with Joe.
Hey Joe, so sorry I came in the call a little bit late. I got the time zone wrong. But I did some research on you and I have a question for you. So I feel like any great person, whatever you perceive as great, right? Any great person has something that's tr stopping them, like that de devil on their shoulder. They got the angel and the demon, and they're trying to fight both, and then they ultimately end up winning with the angel, right? So my question to you is, how did you overcome any feelings of self-doubt or that little voice that's like, don't push forward, just stop now. This is too much. This is too hard. How did you push those aside and keep going?
I didn't. This is still there. So action in the face of negative emotion. Take action in the face of negative emotion. They don't ever go away. They might get quieter, but they don't. My experience, this is just my experience, they don't ever really go away. But what happens is over time, you build up enough evidence and you've taken enough action that when you hear that voice, you kind of go, yeah, thanks for sharing. And you continue to move forward, even though it's scary. Every time somebody's reading my bio and I'm about to step on stage to 1,000 people, all I feel is I'm an imposter. What does this group want to hear from a junkie that used to live on the street? That's real. And I climb those 3 or 4 little steps and I go out and I rip it. So it's having, I have good people in my life. I have good tools and process, but it's action. What motivates action is purpose. And acknowledging that the roadblocks, the psychological and the situational roadblocks are with us to stay. Action, inspiration, roadblocks, air. Right. What happens if you sit still too long is the action goes down and the R gets bigger until the shadow of that thing is so big, it's difficult. If you've ever broken the cycle, like you haven't exercised for 2 or 3 weeks, or you didn't do the dishes, or you let your emails, 500 emails, and then you finally say, that's it. And you tackle that and you get to the bottom of that list, how freeing that feeling is, because you've done the opposite. You've done the action and you've made the roadblock go smaller. Action is the only thing that I know to quiet the noise in my head. Just put your shoes on. That's what Sean used to say to me all the time, my Olympic friend and psych coach. Every time I'd call him, I'd be like, ah! He says, well, that's pretty normal. You're trying to walk across the second widest country on earth. What are you going to do today, Joe? Why don't you go put your shoes on? And it became this kind of metaphor for go take some action, go do something. Yep.
I like that. Put your shoes on. Thank you.
It's so powerful. Joe, when in